the FEMA camp, because then it would be evidence that these camps do exist. All we really have is a few videos of fenced-in areas and army vehicles. Somehow somebody got video of all that without getting in trouble and leaked it to the internet. It was probably somebody who had military access. Somebody was able to film that there are actual FEMA camps in the United States, which is partially proof, along with that letter, that FEMA camps do exist within the United States. I am not sure whether this letter is archived or not, but if it's archived, I recommend that any of you people that don't believe to check it out. Go to the Library of Congress, ask your Congress yourself, find out, like a private investigator, find out if this letter is real. And if it is, if it's confirmed a real letter, then it's proof that FEMA camps do exist. I recommend you do the research. You know, if you find a FEMA camp, I recommend you get video of it, or find proof without getting in trouble that FEMA camps do exist, or maybe you should like ask permission if the military can give you access to showing people proof that these so-called FEMA camps exist. They already said that hundreds of FEMA camps have already been constructed throughout the country, and they've been set up to imprisonate us against our will, in an attempt of a national emergency, or if there's any terrorist attacks. If a national emergency comes, we could be forced in these camps if we were to resist law enforcement. Alex Jones has been talking a lot about these FEMA camps, and he also thinks that these FEMA camps have been set for the riots and set for people that go violent, or people that the president does not like, just like Adolf Hitler. The people he doesn't like the Jews, get shipped off to concentration camps. So I believe Barack Obama might possibly try to enslave us and slaughter millions of people by using the CO2 taxes. Then anybody who resists and fights back, or anybody who's a part of the militant groups or militia, anybody who tries to make their own weapons or buy them or sell them, will instantly be arrested, or probably sentenced to these camps. They know the people are going to riot if Obama were to force us all to be enslaved, or get us to enslave ourselves. If he actually does that, he's prepared for the riots. That's the reason why Obama has the most security in his inauguration than any other president in the United States history, because he is prepared for people wanting to riot or kill. He is preparing for people that are, because they know Obama's a puppet, and they're preparing for people that do want to kill him. People are prepared for civil wars, and that's the reason why these FEMA camps, I believe, are set up, so that they can impersonate anybody who actually fights back. See, the real reason why I did USWGO is so we don't fight back violently. Because if we fight back, we'll be put in these FEMA camps, possibly burned, just like when I read in the books about Jew smoke, about Jews being burned in the fire, and all that smoke was all the Jews that died. Yeah, it's just, that sounds horrible word, Jew smoke. But anyways, that pretty soon it's going to become American smoke. They're going to try to start burning and killing people. That's what I believe is going to happen. It'll probably be a little differently than the way Adolf Hitler did it, but they're both the same. They both talk about people's revolution. They both improve everything. They claim to improve everything. Like that one guy was saying that Adolf Hitler fixed the roads. The roads were good, and Adolf Hitler seemed like a nice guy. And then 10 years later, he became a genocidal maniac and had his own youth brigades. And that's how it's going to start with Obama. In fact, I've noticed that he's been trying to accelerate these youth brigades and other stuff now because the 2012 scare that the Antichrist or powerful leaders' times is short. There is a belief that in 2012 their power is going to be lost. They're going to lose all their power, and all power be given to the elect. And so they're trying to accelerate this New World Order to prevent that in 2012 so that they can keep ruling the world and they can control everything. They're starting to control the world, but they haven't completely done it yet, because if they did, I probably wouldn't be able to talk on here. There probably would be no podcast, there would be no Alex Jones, there would be no Michael Moore. There wouldn't even be a William Henry or David Wilcock. This is part 1 of my podcast on FEMA camps. This is part 2 and the last part about the so-called FEMA camps. Anyways, we know what the FEMA camps are for, and we know if they exist, but should they exist? That is my last words before this podcast stops about, should it exist? I believe that the FEMA camps is a bad idea. I know that, it seems like my mom and grandma and grandpa believed at the time that we do need something to hold people when things get violent. Like we need to not create a panic. But this is not what's happening. They're going to throw us in these camps to enslave us. They're using these camps so that we can't fight the government, even though we have a constitutional right to abolish this government. Even though what I said would probably be considered treason. The Constitution clearly states about a well-regulated militia. In fact, well-regulated militias are protected under the Constitution, but not protected by the federal government. In fact, it is considered an act of terrorism. But a well-regulated militia talks about that the government has to be well-regulated. It has to be regulated by the people. That the people need to make sure the government can never go down the route of fascism. And that's why they want to ban guns. They want to take away our guns, throw us in these camps, keep relocating us. That's why they built these camps. They want to put us in these camps. And it'll probably be different than what Adolf Hitler was trying to do, but the logic is still the same. They're trying to build camps to hold people. Lots of people. And yet it is immoral. It is immoral to have camps like this. I even heard some rumors or heard from websites that the president's going to have a red and blue list. That's like the list of people that are threats to their government. So people like me and Alex Jones, or people that actually tell the truth, are going to probably be put on these lists. Because the government dislikes people that try to expose the global agenda. Or the globalist or elite agenda. So anyways, the only way to put a stop to these FEMA camps, and without violence, is again to unify and not pay attention to Barack Obama and ignore him. The second thing is to all unify somewhere, and I recommend it's USWGO. Third is, if we cannot even do that, the next best thing to do is to separate states from the federal level. This means that FEMA camps will be inoperational since it won't be run by the federal government. Although there is a chance that they'll all be assassinated. The governors, the small governments like mayors and all that stuff, there's a possibility they're all going to be assassinated. Because it seems like they never go after the evil presidents. The good presidents are always assassinated. They never get Bush, they never get Clinton for his dirty work, but they always go after good people like Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, and I think it was Andrew Jackson. Because they were all against the corporate bank. They were all knowing the truth, and because of this, I think I heard that they were declared terrorists. People that want a well-regulated militia, then there's Thomas Jefferson. All these different presidents are now declaring nothing but a bunch of godforsaken terrorists. That is the reason why the global elite must be stopped.